10 TV Plus. Carla Rogner joins us right now.
Hey
Good
there.
morning, guys.
Carla, good
Thanks for
morning.
coming on.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
We made it.
We
Now,
did.
this is a story. We're talking about Avery's Law. It's one that you've covered for
I feel like
quite
it's
some
close to
time.
your heart.
Yeah, you know, we've gotten to know Avery's family over almost the past 2 years. It's been since that awful attack. We first met her mom outside the hospital when Avery was still at Nationwide right after the attack. It was June 2024, so we're coming up on 2 years. And it's been amazing to see how much progress she's made since then, but then also how quickly this law happened as well.
Yeah, take us back to the beginning of her story. What happened with the dog attack?
So she's from Reynoldsburg.
Okay.
She was on a play date and there were 2 pit bulls there, and something happened and the pit bulls attacked her, and it's awful. We have the 911 call we see when EMS first goes there, and she was really badly injured. The dogs, they ripped off one of her ears.
Yeah, we have a photo we're going to pull up really quick.
She had undergone a lot of surgeries. Yeah, that's very
horrible.
right at the beginning there. The firefighters that responded to the scene, they connected us with Avery's mom originally, and we met them both at the hospital there and first heard about her story. And yeah, that's what happened. I mean, it really can happen at any time.
Well, and I think, have you covered one of these dog attack stories? I know I
covered
have.
one in Dayton when my first market I worked in, and it was a horrible story. A pit bull, same thing, literally like mauled a 3-year-old's face. It was horrible.
And then in Asheville in 2024, there was the case of Joanne Eckelberger. She was 73. She was out gardening at her condo complex and was attacked by 2 dogs, and she unfortunately died.
Wow.
And it was one of the dogs, when the officers got there from Asheville, was shot because it started running at an officer. The other one ended up running off and killing somebody else's small dog over by the Taze Valley High School. So the 2 people, the owners of that case, are currently serving a 14-year prison sentence, up to for involuntary manslaughter as part of their charges.
Yeah.
So
now we have Avery's Law, but kind of walk us through, how did Avery's Law even come to be?
Yeah, well, they wanted stricter penalties for owners of dogs that allow this to happen. Like you were mentioning, in some of the cases we've been seeing since Avery's attack, we've been seeing a lot in Columbus. And a lot of times it's dogs that are just, not being contained properly, or they're just out. There was an attack in Franklinton. The dog just ran from who knows where and attacked a random neighbor. So Avery's Law will make it more, make the penalties stronger for the owners of dogs who are not properly containing them and allowing an attack like this to happen, especially if they know that the dogs have an inclination to be dangerous. So what Avery's Law will do is it will impose stronger penalties on owners. It really depends on the situation, but in Avery's case, the owner of the dogs that attacked her, she was sentenced to, I believe, 4 days in prison, and she could serve them on 2 different weekends, and about a $500 fine or so. And Avery's family was really unhappy with that. They felt like she should have, been held accountable in a stronger way. So Avery's Law will do that, but it will also allow the dog wardens after an attack to seize the dog immediately and then take it to court right away and allow a judge to decide whether that dog needs to be euthanized or if it needs to undergo some training. And that's in cases where the dog seriously injures someone or if they kill someone.
because I remember before this, especially when we were covering the Eckelberger case, it was, the dog laws were so loose. It was on a municipality by municipality case. Different cities had different ordinances.
Yeah, this is the first of its kind. I feel like strengthening.
Yeah, and the
all
dog
these
wardens
penalties.
were really fighting for this too. They said this is going to make their job easier and help them keep the community safer as well. And in Avery's case, at the sentencing, we heard that the Humane Society was actually there because they'd been holding on to one of the dogs. One of the dogs had been shot in the incident, but they had to care for this other dog for maybe like over a year or so after the attack, and it was really hard for them to care for it. So this would speed up that process and allowing a judge to step in quicker as well.
And who did you speak with Wednesday?
We spoke to Larry Williams. He's the Licking County dog warden, and he was super involved in this whole process. He was coming to some of the hearings as well. He was there when the governor signed the bill into law a few months ago, but he was really pushing for this. I think we have some sound from him to share.
Let's play it.
So if you're sitting at home with a dog that's been designated dangerous, you got to get this insurance now.
That's going to be based on each county. So there are some counties, the prosecutors that will say, yes, they have to get it now, even though it was passed. Some counties saying no. So I would check with your local dog warden, call them. If you have a dog that's been designated dangerous in the past, call them, see what that county has to do, because that's varying from county to county, from prosecutor's office to prosecutor's office.
So there's lots of nuances in Avery's law and lots of little details here and there. So what he was talking about is changes that it makes for people who have dogs that are designated vicious versus designated dangerous. So I believe that's if your dog has attacked someone or acted violent in the past. And he says that now you might need a new insurance, but every county is kind of handling that differently. So what he recommends doing is if you have a dog that is designated dangerous, call your local dog warden and ask them what you need to do in order to be compliant with Avery's law.
Wow. And you were there at the signing when that happened.
That was exciting.
Yeah. What was the energy like in there? How are they feeling about that?
Well, the cool thing about this is it passed unanimously, which we don't see a lot nowadays. It passed unanimously in the House and the Senate, pretty quick process. So everyone was really supportive of this bill. The representatives were there. Avery and her family, of course, were there. They've been speaking up about this at every step of the way there, and they were really excited to see that happen.
Yeah, and there's something happening today, right? What's
They're
going on
celebrating
for
tonight in Reynoldsburg at City Hall. So what's actually interesting is Reynoldsburg was really quick to act where this attack sadly happened. They actually passed the first version of Avery's law right away. So that kind of like laid the groundwork for Avery's law then to go and become a state law as well. Wow. So Avery's family will be there and they'll be celebrating the passage of Avery's law tonight.
Right, because it gives them some sort of, I don't know.
Not closure. Closure's not the word.
Closure's not the word, but you know where we're going with that.
They're turning their adversity into something positive.
Yeah, they're taking action.
Right, absolutely. And I think a lot of times, obviously, what she went through was incredibly traumatic and a health concern. And one person could just, succumb to all of that and be upset, not do anything. So it's amazing that her parents were rallying around her and she was willing to do this and get the laws
because
changed.
Now she can say, I did that.
Right.
That this hopefully prevents this happening from another child or happening to another child.
And that's the goal here is to make it more of an incentive for owners of dogs to follow the laws. And that's what the dog warden says too, is now it's more important than ever to make sure you're following and abiding by the laws and keeping your dog safe and the community safe.
Yeah,
it's accountability.
Those dog wardens too, they have a hard job. They have a lot of dogs in there and they all behave differently. Their hands are full a lot of the times. So it's just, something people don't really think about too when all of this goes down. So, hey, Carla, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Have a